like problems in my marriage. Like I wouldn't seek advice or help from others because I felt like I should know how to do this. I need to know how to do this on my own, and that is not the case. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm really excited about today's video because I don't think I've done anything like this before. I asked on my Instagram for you guys to send over any dilemmas that you have, and y'all sent in some very juicy situations. Hopefully I can provide some like meaningful solutions, but if you guys have like a better answer to one of the questions, feel free to leave it down in the comments below. A lot of the dilemmas are actually relationship based, which I figured because that's usually the topic that most people have difficulty navigating, because I feel like everyone gets married for the first time. Usually, unless you're like in a situation like me, unfortunately. But then fortunately you have people like me who can like share their experiences and tell you what to do and what not to do. To jump right in, the first question is how to deal with toxic family members like your sister-in-law. So this is a very tricky situation. So my advice is to set boundaries. I wish I knew about boundaries when I was 20 years old. A lot of girls, especially that young, aren't aware of boundaries, or like they don't feel comfortable setting boundaries because they feel like it's being too harsh or like you're putting your foot down. But honestly, setting boundaries and like not allowing people to talk to you a certain way or treat you a certain way really helps like build quality relationships. I think people think setting boundaries is like really mean. I used to think that way because I'm not a people pleaser, but I feel deeply for people, and I'm like, oh, I don't want them to, you know, feel bad, and I don't want them to think I don't like them. I don't want them to think I hate them. But I've realized like my mental peace and like feeling good about myself and like respecting myself means so much more to me than worrying about making somebody feel uncomfortable, because chances are they're probably not going to feel uncomfortable. If anything, they're going to respect you more and be like, oh, okay, I understand. For example, a really simple boundary that you can set, and I still do this with people in like my life if I feel uncomfortable or they're making me feel uncomfortable, is like, hey, I don't like the way you speak to me, like that makes me feel uncomfortable. Let's just change the dialogue. Communication is so vital when setting up boundaries. You have to be able to tell people like this is what you're okay with and this is what you're not okay with. If you're just like a really soft person and you don't feel comfortable speaking up for yourself, it can really hurt you in the long run. I really hope that helps. I know that's a really tough situation. Just in a really polite way, set your boundaries, and hopefully that will help some of the toxicness. This one honestly made me really sad to read. Somebody said, I'm putting so much pressure on myself to get married by December. I have a deadline. I'm so desperate for marriage that it's messing up with my head. This is honestly really sad because I feel like society plays a big part in creating this pressure on young women. Please guys, don't feel pressured to get married. While everybody wants to get married and everybody strives to get married, it shouldn't be like the end all be all. Don't put your life on pause while you're waiting to get married. I'm actually really guilty of that, and it's easier said than done, but two things that really help you get out of that mindset is one, tawakkul, like having full trust in Allah and knowing that His plan is the best plan and His timing is the best planning, because at the end of the day, part of your iman, part of your faith is like accepting your decree, accepting your reality and your destiny. So fighting it isn't going to help you at all. If anything, it is really going to mess with your head and make you go crazy. I actually felt that way like maybe 4 years after my divorce. Like the first few years I took time to heal, to find myself again. I traveled a lot. I was just doing things that really made me feel happy. After I got my fulfillment and I found like a sense of myself again, and I've traveled the world, then I started slowing down and thinking like, oh man, like I need to find a spouse. That year I like stressed myself out so much because I put so much pressure on myself to find someone, and honestly it's not healthy, because when you're in that mindset you're also not making good decisions. I remember like talking to people that weren't even like, you know, like my type, for lack of a better word. Like they didn't even meet my basic criteria of like praying 5 times a day and those things, and I saw myself compromising on values that I normally wouldn't have because of the state of mind I was in. So please do not do that. Second thing that I found that helps a lot is finding things that you love to do. So make your life about you. Do the things that you love. Create the life that you want to live. Like, do all those things so when you find your partner, you already have a fulfilled life and you're not looking for happiness through them. This is also really sad. Somebody said, this sucks. The constant pressure of marriage and kids makes me feel like I'm a burden to my own family now. I completely understand what you mean by this, especially in the South Asian community. There is so much pressure on getting married and then having kids following that, which makes parents think that they fulfilled their job of like raising a kid and making them successful. So when a child doesn't get married, the parent almost feels like they weren't successful or they didn't complete their job because they have like this pending responsibility on their daughters. My biggest advice to you is try to emulate and try to be a source of ease for everyone around you, whether it's your parents, your grandparents, your siblings. While you can't be at ease for them through marriage, be a source of ease to them through helping them around the house, through bills, through grocery, like little things. Like when I'm at home, I can be better, but like I try to help my parents out with everything. Like I want their life to be easy, so I try to help them with grocery, help them cook, help them clean, make their life easier. And I know this is like a really weird way to solve a problem, but it honestly helps alleviate a lot of the tension, because in return, when you're doing so much for your parents are actually grateful for you and are making dua for you, and then you feel good because you don't feel like a burden and you don't feel guilty like you're not giving your parents what they want. You realize like, okay, I'm helping my parents in a different way. We're gonna try to switch up the mood a little bit. I feel like I've been talking about heavy topics that aren't like really positive and uplifting. So this is a good one. Somebody said, advice for someone who turns 20. 20s advices. Going back to thinking about when I was 20 years old, I was in college, and I'm thinking about the friends that I was with, the things that I was doing, and 20s are so fun. Enjoy your time. Go to college, make friends in college, be on college campus. I wish I stayed on campus longer. For some reason, I was dying to get off campus and like run back home. Stay on campus, join clubs, join sororities. It's so fun. It's like literally one season of life, 4 years that will never be the same in your life again. Like 4 years of college don't ever happen again in your life unless you're going back for your master's. But even then, that experience is so different from your undergrad. After you graduate, life is not the same. You go right into adulting. You go find yourself a full-time job. You start building a family. You end up getting married. You have bills. Like life just becomes so much more stressful. The other advice I have is be confident in who you are. I remember in my 20s, I literally did not know who I was, especially because I got married so young. I just didn't have this concept of like, what makes Jasrah happy? What does Jasrah like? What does Jasrah want in life? I was just like so busy like catering to everyone. Just take one day out of your busy life and just write down what are the things you like, what do you want to accomplish, who do you want to be, what makes you happy, and like go for it. Last advice I would give is you're not gonna know everything, and so accepting that early on will really help you go further in life, because one, you'll be more open-minded and you'll be accepting and willing to learn from others, and two, you create this mindset of allowing yourself to make mistakes, allowing yourself to grow. I felt like when I was in my 20s, I wanted to be a know-it-all. I don't know why. Maybe because I was married and I felt like I had to be an adult, like I had to grow up so quickly. Like I felt like I was lying to myself the whole time. I would tell myself I know how to cook when I really didn't. Like I had so many chances to learn to cook from my mom, but I was like, no, I know how to cook. Or like, I don't know, like the little things, like when I would have like problems in my marriage, like I wouldn't seek advice or help from others because I felt like I should know how to do this. I need to know how to do this on my own, and that is not the case. I'm gonna do one last because my camera battery is actually blinking, so I'm gonna try to make this quick. But this one is interesting because I know long distance relationships are pretty common. This person said, my husband's visa is taking forever. Do we wait it out or do I quit my job and move to him? I feel like this is very situational. Like if you guys have a healthy relationship and communication is great and you guys have like a very good understanding being apart, then I don't know, it might be worth waiting it out. But if you feel like you're losing a sense of your relationship, you guys are like not on the same page anymore, you can see that your relationship is taking a toll, then maybe quitting your job and moving to him isn't a bad idea, because you can eventually find a job in the state or country that he's in, maybe, inshallah. Moving is never easy, but one thing that does make it easy is moving for the right person. So if you really feel like this is your person, I mean, you're married to this person, I think you said marriage, then yeah, it's definitely worth fighting for. That's my personal opinion. You guys let me know if you would not move for your marriage. I always was like that type of girl where I was like, I'm not gonna move, like I want to be in my hometown. But I realized now your soulmate could very much be out of your city or your town. So don't limit yourself, especially if you're married. I think it's definitely worth fighting for. So I hope you guys enjoyed this Q&A. Let me know if you liked it so I can do a part 2. I enjoyed this a lot. So I'm definitely thinking about putting up another poll on my Instagram. I'll probably do a poll in August maybe. So if you guys are interested in sharing your dilemmas, you can send me a message there. Or if you want to send me one beforehand, you can always DM me. My Instagram DMs are always open. I'm responding to people as much as I can on a daily basis. So yeah, if you guys want to chat with me one-on-one there, definitely send me a DM. But yeah, I love you guys. I hope all of you guys are doing well. And as always, I have some links down below in the description to support families in Gaza, to help raise money for Palestine. And yeah, I love you guys, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!